20-year-old Zack Lefave lived in a small town called Yarmouth in Canada with a population of only around 6,500 people. Almost everyone knew everyone there. So when the happy 20-year-old man disappeared on New Year's Day 2021, only 2 days before he was due to celebrate his 21st birthday, it would leave the whole town in a state of shock. By all accounts, everything in Zack's life seemed to be fine at the time. The hard-working young man was currently employed and worked behind the deli counter at the red and white grocery store in town. He was a homebody who liked to play video games with his friends and appeared to have a good family and circle of friends around him in his life. On New Year's Eve 2020, Zack spent the day four-wheeling with his friends until approximately 4 p.m. Then, at around 6 p.m, he went to the Grand Hotel on Main Street because a couple of friends had a room there. The friends spent the next 5 hours socialising and drinking a little too much, but they were having a good time, just enjoying the evening in preparation for the New Year countdown. Now the timeline differs slightly here between various sources, but later in the evening Zack went to a house party in Plymouth, Canada, 15 minutes away from Yarmouth. An acquaintance, a friend of a friend, had invited him. The party, roughly of about 20 to 25, had a lot of guests Zack didn't know, but Zack was relatively outgoing, so that didn't seem to bother him. One of the guests who saw him that night says he was drunk, but a happy, outgoing drunk. Now I believe Zack didn't stay at the party for too long. I have read 25 minutes or maybe 1 hour. What is confirmed is bizarrely, for whatever reason, Zack decided to leave the party 10 minutes before midnight. And as most of the guests didn't know Zack, it's likely that most thought nothing of it. But the case would get extremely strange from there onwards. At 11:49 p.m, Zack makes the first phone call to one of his friends and advises them he is walking home. It is a 2-hour walk along desolate highways. However, Zack believes, or at least tells his friend, he is in Quinnan, which is a 5-hour walk from where he actually is in Plymouth. Even more bizarre, he told him he was walking without his pants on. While the statement seems weird and alarming, his friends claim Zack did not sound distressed. It was roughly 3 degrees, not warm, to be walking home in boxers. 3 minutes later, the phone call ends. Police would later find eyewitnesses who put Zack in Plymouth at this point, making no sense. At 11:54, Zack makes his second phone call to another friend. He told him he was shivering with cold and he desperately needed a ride. Zack still believed he was in Quinnan and asked his friends to pick him up from there, but the call ended at 11:58 p.m. before he could give his actual location. Then, just after the clock strikes midnight, Zack makes his third phone call and the final time he will speak with anyone. He tells a friend he is with people of colour from the house party. However, it was later confirmed that there were no people of colour at the party. Around this time is the first reported sighting of him. An eyewitness sees him at the Newell Road entrance at the 334 highway. He is actually heading south towards Wedgeport, not Yarmouth like he thinks he is. Around 12:07, Zack makes one final phone call to another friend. This friend is in bed asleep and doesn't answer. At this point, it seems Zack was desperately trying to get hold of anyone who could come and help him quickly. The final sightings of Zack are 20 minutes later. Two separate cars drove past Zack walking towards Yarmouth. About 30 minutes later, the same person came back on the same road, and he did not see Zack. His parents started searching for him immediately, literally hours after his last phone call, but found no sign of him anywhere. When he didn't show up to his shift at the grocery store, they immediately knew something was now seriously wrong. Zack was never late to work, let alone absent without informing anyone. So the family filed a police complaint, and the search for Zack Lefave began. An extensive search was done by the RCMP the next day, including ground and water searches. The best hope was that they would find the young man passed out somewhere, but no trace of Zack was found. They did, however, find Zack's pants on Flint Road, one of the roads he was seen walking. In his pants they found his wallet, cigarettes, as well as his hat. The RCMP tried to ping his cell phone, however it was either turned off or ran out of battery, so that was a dead end. The small community of Yarmouth banded together to assist the police. Almost everyone knew Zack, so everyone was feeling the pain. They planned several civilian searches. People formed grids and searched everywhere they could possibly think the young man could have possibly wandered off to. They used sniffer dogs, helicopters, and sophisticated equipment to scour the area for clues. Unfortunately, again, they found nothing. Zack's disappearance devastated his family and the community, and while there was a number of rumours and speculation as to what could have happened to Zack on that night, all the rumours are mere speculation, and a significant piece of the puzzle is still missing, and that's Zack. Police and his family continued to follow every rumour and every lead, but every avenue just led to another dead end. Desperate for answers, Zack's family has announced a $30,000 reward for information leading to finding Zack. They have also set up a Facebook page called Bring Zack Lefave Home to update information and raise funds. It's now more than 2 years later, and the family still don't have answers as to what happened to Zack on that cold night. Both the family and the police are urging specifically for information from anyone who may have picked up a man after 12 AM on January the 1st, 2021 near Hattie Lane and Highway 334 to come forward.